Hey everyone, Andy Clements here, and in this video we're going to be talking a little bit about how to set up a workout plan for maximum muscle gain. And this video is going to be really useful for you if you're an absolute beginner to the gym and you just don't know where to start with your training. At the end of this video, I'm also going to give you a little bit of information on how to progress your workouts from the absolute beginner stage when you first start through to the intermediate stage so you can really start seeing some progress and leveling up the muscle and physique you've got. I'll also be giving you a free bonus workout at the end of this video, so stay tuned to the end and I'll give you some details on how to grab that. Okay, so point number one, our workouts must be goal specific. Just like an Olympic weightlifter would be training to get better at those specific Olympic lifts, or a powerlifter would be training to get better at those specific lifts they would be tested on in competition, or a sprinter would be training to get faster, or a footballer would be training to get better at football. We are training specifically to increase the size and density of our muscle mass. That's why we're training, so we always have to have that in mind when we're designing any kind of workout program. Yes, strength is important. Yes, fitness and endurance are important. Explosiveness can be important. But we must remember that everything we do in the gym must always come back to what's going to make our muscles bigger, because that's our reason for training. So these other elements feed into it, sure, but let's not lose sight of the fact that we're training to increase the size of our muscles. For that reason, the most important part of our training has to be the way that we perform movements. The execution of our exercises is absolutely key to make sure that we're putting tension through each and every muscle that we're training through a complete range of motion. You can have the best workout programs in the world. You can get them designed by the top coaches. You can follow the pro level bodybuilding ones that you'll see on the internet and in magazines and on all these different platforms. But if you don't get the exercise execution spot on, if you don't move with precision and accuracy and tension through the areas that you're trying to train, it's absolutely useless, and you're going to be limiting the results that you can get from your workout program. So make sure that before you do any kind of workout program that intends on you building muscle, you get your execution as tight and as perfect as you can possibly get it. Okay, so point number two is full body workouts. Now, if you are an absolute beginner to the gym, if you've never trained before, or if you've had less than 6 months of good, hard, consistent training, full body workouts are for you. If you're unsure whether you've actually trained hard or not, chances are you've probably not trained hard. When you train hard and you truly take yourself to those points of failure, you know about it. So if you're unsure whether you've trained hard or not, or you're unsure whether you've got that level of experience, my advice would be to stick with the beginner's workout plan and build up your intensity and build up your competence with training. More advanced trainees can move on to a little bit more specified workout plans like the upper-lower split, the push-pull leg split, or even more advanced like the specific body part splits that you'll see in the sort of bro magazine kind of things, which are like chest and triceps, back and biceps, all those kinds of different pairings. But for us right now, if we have less than 6 months worth of experience of hard training in the gym, full body is where it's at. The reason full body is so useful for us as inexperienced trainees in the gym is because it spreads the volume we're performing in the gym across the whole body over the course of a workout, rather than focusing it on one specific area. The main consideration that you need to take for yourself when you are inexperienced in the gym is that you need to get as much frequency on every single body part as you can. This is for a couple of different reasons. The first is that the most important factor for new trainees trying to build muscle in the gym is frequency. The more frequently we can expose every single one of our muscles to stimulus in the gym through training it, the quicker we're going to be able to grow it. Muscle growth is quite simply a process of stimulating the muscle fibers and breaking down the muscle fibers as frequently as possible through training, and then rebuilding them each time through your nutrition, through your sleep, and through your recovery protocols. The more frequently we can make this happen, the faster we can build more muscle. The second reason is that inexperienced trainees have much less of a tolerance to weight training than people who have been going to the gym for years and years. That's why hyper-focused, really specific workouts aren't the right approach for newbies to the gym. A leg session is hard enough for the best of us. It's really difficult to recover from a really hard and heavy leg workout, even if you've been going to the gym for 10 to 15 years. You really need to be on your recovery protocols. As a beginner that doesn't have that kind of tolerance to weight training built up, you're going to have a much harder time recovering from those ultra focused leg workouts or arm workouts or chest workouts or back workouts or whatever it might be than somebody who's got a ton of experience and has been doing it a very, very long time. That means that you're not going to be able to get back in the gym quickly enough to practice that frequency that we've already spoke about and we know is so essential for muscle growth. Another great bonus to that increased recovery and increased frequency of training is it's going to allow you to get in the gym more often and practice those key movements that are so essential to muscle building. Different types of squats and leg presses and hip hinges and presses and rows and deadlifts and all these big compound exercises that are really going to help you grow your physique are so essential to get right and to really execute properly, like we talked about at the start of this video. If you have more frequency, you have more opportunity to practice those movements, to really hone them and to get them ingrained in your nervous system as movement patterns. Okay, so now we've talked about why full body workouts are so essential when you're first starting with a new training program and you're first starting in the gym. Let's talk a little bit about how we would actually structure those kinds of workouts and give you some more of a practical idea of what to do when you get to the gym. First of all, focus on what I'm going to call bang for your buck movements. These are movements that are going to give you a much bigger return on investment than smaller movements might give you. These are the movements that I mentioned earlier, like deadlifts and squats and presses and rows and big compound exercises that are going to work multiple muscle groups in the body. It's not that there's anything wrong with these more isolation-based specific exercises like bicep curls or lateral raises or chest flies or something like that, but we've got to remember that we are limited on time when we're doing full body workouts, and we have to get some form of volume in across the whole body. We also have to remember that we're just learning how to build muscle, we're learning how to train, we're learning how to execute movements, and if we get these big compound movements right, it's going to be much easier to learn the isolation moves at a later date. So learn the basics first, get to grips with these big compound movements, learn how to do them safely, learn how to do them effectively, and learn how to contract your muscles to within an inch of their lives on every single movement that you do. And you're gonna make a ton of progress just from doing that. Okay, so here's my advice for you to use if you're an absolute beginner to the gym and you've never lifted a weight before in your life, or you've got less than 6 months worth of experience with training. This is the approach that I use with my new clients to help them to get to grips with the gym, build some intensity while not having to use a ton of weight at the same time, so they can carry on learning their movements without risking injury. And that methodology is called German body composition training. German body composition training has been around for decades, but it was popularized in more recent years by a strength coach called Charles Poliquin. What German body composition entails is it entails pairing two exercises together in what's called a superset, and one of these exercises is going to be an upper body exercise and the other one's going to be a lower body exercise. So it could be anything. It could be a squat variation, which could be a back squat, a hack squat, a front squat, a dumbbell squat, any kind of squat variation there, paired with a press or a push-up or even a row or a shoulder press or any kind of upper body exercise alongside it there. So you just have a big compound lower body exercise and a big compound upper body exercise. So you pair them together, then you'll take a short rest after that, and then you'll repeat the two exercises for 3 to 4 sets, and you'll go for probably 8 to 12 reps on each exercise. What we do with German body composition training is we keep the rest times low between each set. So we stick to about 30 seconds of rest time in between each superset to keep the intensity high, because we're not going to be using tons and tons of weight with this approach of training. Of course, we can increase strength over the course of this training program, and we can start building our weights up over a period of time, but our main focus here is going to be learning how to perform the movements, learning how execution, ingraining them movement patterns deep inside our nervous system, and laying the foundations for a long and successful training career to come. For an example of how to run a full body German body composition workout program, you can hit the link in the description and grab a free German body composition 1-week program that I'm giving away to everybody that watches this video. So just click the link below, pop your email in the box, and you'll get a free sample workout program that you can use to get started on your training straight away. Now, I promised you at the start of this video some information on how to progress your training from that absolute beginner stage where you need to be doing the gym and body composition style through to a more intermediate and slightly more experienced stage where you need to be focusing more on progressive overload, lifting weights and building strength and muscle. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you. So what we need to be focusing on when we've completed a good 4 to 6 months of this gym and body composition style worth of training is we need to be moving through into a more progressive overload style based training, because progressive overload really is king in the long term when it comes to building muscle. What progressive overload means is it just means beating our previous numbers in a specific workout that we've done previously. So that could be lifting more weight, it could be lifting the same weight for more reps, it could be lifting the same weight for the same amount of reps but with a better executions, with more control and with more tension through the muscle on that specific exercise. So it doesn't always have to mean more weight, but over a long period of time you are probably going to be lifting more weight and increasing your strength at the same time. So my recommendation when you're ready to move away from that beginner style of German body composition training into a more progressive overload style of training is to just start by changing the first half of your workouts. So pick the movements that you want to get strong at, and this should really be them big bang for your buck movements, them big return on investment exercises like your deadlifts or your squats or your leg presses or your upper body presses like shoulder presses or horizontal presses. All those big compound exercises that are going to give you a real good return on investment. Choose them to hit at the start of your workout, warm up really well for them, and then aim for an approach where you're going to do 2 sets. Okay, so you're going to do a top set, which generally speaking, depending on the exercise, some exercises can vary, but generally speaking you're going to go for between 5 and 8 reps on your top set. And then you're going to have a good big long rest, and you're going to drop the weight slightly, and you're going to go for a back off set of normally around 8 to 12 reps on the back off. The difference in this approach is we're not supersetting them with any other exercise, we're just going straight in on those single exercises, doing a straight set on them, and really putting every bit of energy and effort into that specific set. We're going to channel all of our aggression, all of our energy into that set, lift as much weight as possible, keeping the execution as perfect, the form as perfect as we possibly can, and keeping our control over the weight. So we need to learn how to control the weight, we need to learn how to execute the movements in our gym and body composition. Once we've nailed that down, then we can move on to attacking the heavier stuff and building our strength over time with the progressive overload approach. It's still going to be full body, you're still going to be doing a full body approach where you hit all of the muscles or all the major muscles in your body in every workout, but you're starting to transition more into an advanced style trainee worth of approach there. The second half of your workouts on that progressive overload style approach would still be a little bit more kind of pump work or a little bit more superset German body composition style, but you're transitioning away from that as you go along. So that's it guys, that's how to start your training program from scratch, even if you've never set foot in a gym before in your life. I really hope that was useful, and I hope it was valuable, and I hope you took some good valuable tips away from it. Remember to grab your German body composition free workout plan in the description down there, and if you enjoyed this video, please drop me a like, drop me a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. There's going to be a new upload coming from this channel every Tuesday and Saturday on all things training, nutrition, lifestyle and health, so you can build a big, strong, healthy physique. Really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you over there in the next one.